Hello and welcome everybody to the Buy Around podcast. I'm your host James Graham, joined by Luke Keary and Charlie White. Gents, how are we? What
great
a day, what a weekend.
I'm going fantastic. We want to talk about your ultra marathon, but we might have
the
to
way
go.
you're walking. Can you just get up and show people how you're walking? This is ridiculous.
Have we got a big enough camera?
Nah, I'm in
and you know what? Not disappointing, but me and Jordan were sitting over there. Well, the marathon's still going, and you're in here.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh no, but, well you finish when
we'll
you
watch
can't
the
go
blokes
anymore.
that are going better than you.
Mate,
on how you can improve.
They are next level. Don't worry, I'll be tapping into them for next time. What a great event, though. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm in the hurt locker a little bit now, but yeah, loved being part of the Backyard Ultra.
What'd you get to? 118 kilometres, was
114, so
Wow.
17 laps.
Holy dooly. Well done, mate.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Yeah, it was good fun, and big shout out to all my support crew and stuff.
Would you do it again?
Hell yeah, I'll do it again.
Nice.
Hell yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll be doing again, going to the Beer Footy Food Festival, who have kindly, kindly looked after us with a code to get cheaper tickets for this event. So if you do want to go, the North Sydney event's off over 2 days, May 16 and 17. So if you're thinking, people are going to Magic Round, I wouldn't mind watching some rugby league while Magic Round's not on. We'll go to that. It's honestly, you love it. It's one of the best events.
You know what? Take away the football.
Yeah.
There's the beer and food is absolutely brilliant. What a great day out and it's a family themed event as well. I know you think, beer, food, but it's like, no, it's actually got stuff on for the kids as well. An amazing event, Charlie.
So the code word is BYEROUNDBUDS. We'll put that in the show notes as well. It gets you $5 off the ticket, so that's awesome that they've done that. And then, of course, you got 20 local brewers, 15 food tents, and also the beer mile is going to take place on the Saturday, where contestants will take on 4 laps of North Sydney Oval whilst having to drink a beer every lap, and that will be great viewing.
I'd love to be part. I think I'm away there with.
You'll be at Magic Round, but fastest without spewing wins $500 cash. So get around and have a compete in the beer mile as well.
Actually, I might try and find out what time that's on, see if I can make it back.
Change your
I'm
flight.
all about doing the Backyard Ultra. I can do 4 laps and have 4 beers.
Yeah.
Actually, I actually might look and see if I can make it back for that.
Definitely. So we'll put the link in our show notes, which should, if you press the link, it should automatically put the code in. But if it doesn't, it's BYEROUNDBUDS.
Yeah.
$5 off your tickets. How
Also,
good.
we do have the Patreon up and active. 2 extra shows a week, plus ad-free listening and a heap of other incentives. For tomorrow's episode, we're going to have a deeper dive on the topic that is hot on everybody's lips. Obviously, Coach Shane Flanagan and Head of Football, or GM of Football, Benny Haran, relieved of their duties by mutual consent. I think that's a polite way of putting
You're sacked.
That you've been sacked after a poor start to the year and a really, really bad Saturday evening. Luke, come to you for your first reaction. I mean, it's been coming.
Yeah, it's been coming. I don't think anyone's really it's a little bit different to Siebes. Like, people haven't been banging the drums in the media for his head to be chopped off. A lot of fans have for a long time now. 11 in a row. Like, from what I heard, he knew it was coming. It was more about just when. A lot of people said
it was when, not
yeah,
if.
it was when. Which is sad. Like, it's sad for him. I thought, to be honest, he's handled himself pretty well. Like, he's done a lot of interviews. He's fronted up on Fox. He's fronted up on Triple M the other week before the game. He hasn't tried to avoid it. He hasn't gone crazy like some of the other coaches do at times when their tenure's coming to the end. But this club is a mess. There's no other way to explain it. It is a genuine mess. I don't have any clue about what's going. When someone tries to explain to me the Illawarra thing and you lose me after 10 seconds because it's just, I've got no idea. And I think this isn't over. This isn't over because the press conference this morning just reeked of just crap.
Yeah.
Like what stood out?
Lancaster, the coverage of this club has been poor. Readers and viewers and listeners deserve better. Well, go on, say what you think's been poor.
Yeah,
tell us what's been crap about it, what's been poor about it. Tell us. Don't just say that.
Yeah,
Who is this guy?
Well, that's
he welcomed us to his performance centre.
They also talked about the clubs improving. I'd love to know on what metrics. Their attendance has been dropping every year for the last 3 years. Their team is going backwards. What metrics is the team improving? Explain that. You're losing your fans. You're losing your key players. You're losing a lot of your juniors. You've now had to sack another coach. Where is the improvement? You can't just build a fancy football centre and say, no, we're improving as a club because we've got a nice gym.
Yeah, that's it. It's don't show the bells and whistles of what is apparently a magnificent training centre. Like, that's great, but it doesn't mean your club's going in the right direction. Kez, you brought up a point before. I know you want to speak, but you say it's a mess and you don't know what's going on. Well, I'm not going to name any names, but I was speaking with one of the leading journalists in the NRL who spoke to somebody at the board, and they on one of the football board or the league's club board, they were incorrect in what they thought was going on.
So no one knows.
Didn't know. It's an actual what the roles and responsibilities are there.
You know what's a blatant lie too? Everyone knew Flanagan was gone last night. Everyone. And he goes, we made the decision this morning and we haven't spoke to anyone about the interim.
Well, what does that say? For me, basically...
all he cared about, that press was to have a go at people in the media rather than...
And they haven't... Nobody's being unfair. Nobody is being unfair in their coverage. Like, you know what would be a disservice to them if you tried to polish this turd?
Yeah.
If you try to talk about the positives, because if you were like, let's ignore this, but you know what, we've got a really good. You know what the really good thing about the Dragons is? Got a brand new snazzy centre of excellence. That's brilliant.
Great investment.
No listener, no viewer.
The fans don't
wants to hear that. It's like, stop dodging the question. Tell me,
how do they not have an interim?
You know why? That translates to me. The translation, obviously, he's not speaking in a foreign language, but the translation is there's two sides that need to make a decision, and they can't agree. So one wants Innes, the other doesn't. One wants Young, and the other doesn't. And then there's talk of what could be. Nobody gets what they want. And then there's a third option or a fourth option for some sort of compromise.
And the third option we're potentially hearing could be Piggy Riddell, but time will tell. That's
is
a name.
Is he in the coaching building?
No, he's involved in some capacity there, isn't he?
Is it NRLW or something?
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe.
But the reality is, so this is how it all works. So Shane Flanagan was pushed by the Illawarra side of the board. Yeah. So they won that battle. Shane Flanagan became the coach. The St. George side didn't want him. Peter Dowse and Shane Flanagan had a poor relationship.
And Peter Dowse is still heavily involved at the football club.
Correct.
Make no mistake, I know he resigned, or he's not the CEO, but he is still very active.
Which is very messy as well, because fans had that big push to oust Dowse.
He's still there.
They thought they did. He still got his mitts all over that football club. Now, he obviously didn't want Shane Flanagan, the St. George side of the board. Now, Dean Young is a clear candidate. It would make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. For some fans might say, he's been there as an assistant when things have gone badly. At the end of the day, he's an assistant coach, so he can't truly enact change. The St. George side wants him, but the issue is his father, Craig Young, is on the St. George board. So the Illawarra side don't like the idea.
I can't. You've lost me already.
But it is important to get all this stuff out there.
Because it's
a mess. And I think Lancaster's press conference, it came across very arrogant and very we know exactly what we're doing. We're doing really well. Yeah. It came across very arrogant.
We're doing so well. We've invested so much. Our recruitment, our pathways are so good. That's literally all he said.
Yet we can't come to an agreement on who the interim coach is.
We're going to have a talk with the staff after this.
But Flanagan would have been gone.
You knew last night and you haven't spoke to anyone.
But it's longer than last night. They've had 4 weeks of Shane Flanagan.
They knew the week,
what's up,
Charlie,
man?
They knew the week before.
Yeah, we're going to have to
sack
Shane
the week
Flanagan.
before, and they can't agree on an interim. That's why.
Yeah. Well, and again, not that Manly are or like, you know, this shining light on how things should be done. But let's look at the process of like the information flow to the general public. They played a game on the Thursday, which made them go 0-3. They sacked Seabold at 6 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, Kieran Foran, who was working on television, gets the phone call. I wonder if Kieran Foran maybe knew before that, and maybe
No, he didn't.
He
didn't.
Definitely. All right, okay, but
Yep.
okay, it's taken 5 hours for them to go, Kieran Foran's our man, because it is one person making the call there, and there is clearly.
You don't sack him unless you know who's coming in. Correct?
Well, I don't know if I fully. I know what you're saying. Like you should
If
have.
you have agreed to sack him on Saturday night or Sunday morning,
but
surely from Sunday to Monday you've got to.
Sorry, if something. Sorry, I've gone looking at a wide range of varieties for reasons to sack people. But with this particular case, with this building for as long as it's come, this hasn't come out the blue. It shouldn't be a shock to you. You should have this ready. So there's a difference. This is because it's been building. It's not an immediate termination.
Yeah.
Because this has been building, you should have got your ducks in a row and gone, okay, if we, really we're going to have to pull the trigger within a small window. We don't have much time here. The runway is, we've got to get this moving. We need someone to. This decision should have been made a long, long time ago.
It shows how much of a basket case the joint is, really, though. That's all it shows. It just shows how much of a mess it is. Not just the
basket case, Charlie. It's the pettiness of some of the decision making. Well, we want this, and you know what? It's like deliberate tactics of like, well, you want that person, so we don't.
Yeah.
Because we can't support you.
And
the horse trading that must go on around, like, well, you made the call last time. We can't trust you with the decision this time. It's our turn to make the call.
Well, exactly. And that's what the St. George side wants Young. Because they're like, well, you guys made the decision for Flanagan. Now we want our man Young.
Yeah.
And the thing around Dean Young is supposedly he was so close to getting the Newcastle Knights job. If the Cowboys job does become available, he's apparently a leading candidate for that. You've got him in the building. If he's a guy that's being considered for all these other jobs, do you not just put him in there at least
as
until
interim.
the end of the season as interim?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know those behind it. But if you think there's a chance he is, it's a good chance to just look at him for 6 months. But
yeah, give him a free
I don't even
hit.
want to speak about him, to be honest. I'm over talking about him.
We kind of have to, because
I know, I'm over it. The players on the weekend
we're on
were
the byround.
they're a disgrace. It's a disgrace. They're a disgrace.
Should we talk about what went wrong for Shane Flanagan? I actually think Shane Flanagan's stocks rise after watching that press conference of the leaders at the club and the lack of direction they've got. So I think Shane Flanagan's stocks rise from after seeing that press conference. Yes, he's had a disastrous coaching tenure here, but so have other coaches. I don't think you can necessarily judge Shane Flanagan and put line through him forever as a coach based on what's happened there.
I think he assessed it wrong. So
yeah,
look back at that. So he comes into the side. The Ben Hunt situation, I wish he'd have dug his heels in.
Mm-hmm.
The Lomax situation, I wish he'd have dug his heels in. Like
what do you mean on the Ben Hunt one?
Well, allowing Ben Hunt to walk out.
Yeah,
the
but
building.
he wanted him to go. He came out and publicly said,
I think he got. Okay, well, I think he got that wrong.
Yeah,
I think he got
because he publicly
wrong.
said, "Oh, mate, he's someone that took shortcuts." And
yeah, and I think he was pretty critical of Benny Hunt as being a leader, and that's probably not Benny's greatest strength, but I think an amazing footballer. Like, I think he got that wrong. I think he got the Lomax situation wrong, and then with allowing Ben Hunt to leave, he and maybe this is reflected from his time at Cronulla. At Cronulla, they were about leaders. We need experienced leaders. You look at Gallen, you look at Lewis, you look at Innes, you look at Wade Graham. He was emerged as a leader, but he was all about leadership. So they went to Gutherson and Cook and Holmes.
Yep.
And they paid big money for them. And in the short term, he got that leadership from them. And they improved to an extent. And even
they were the ones that
last year, the middle of the season, they're actually going not too bad. They fell off a cliff towards the back end. and then maybe coming into the season, those leaders that they brought in, you know, Cook's still having a crack. Don't get me wrong. Val looked lost yesterday, and Gutho's not.
Is that your assessment of him? Lost.
Looked lost.
Was that your assessment?
He was probably the worst game I've ever seen from him.
He shouldn't play again. He should not be in this team.
What about Holmes?
No way. Did you see what he did? It was a blatant just... You have to go back to 2010 to find someone that's missed more tackles in a game.
Yeah.
It was dreadful, wasn't it?
He is up against the trail, but I mean, there's no excuse.
He's an Origin winger who's played for Australia. We won't talk about it. I've had my say on him. He shouldn't be in the team.
The big thing around the Shane Flanagan thing that we probably have to talk about is the Kyle Flanagan situation.
Well, that's the other issue now. You got to walk in and deal with that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty easy. You just put him in New South Wales Cup, surely. Whoever comes in, like that's more his level anyway, Kyle Flanagan. But the issue is Shane Flanagan's potentially cost himself this opportunity by...
Hurt his credibility.
Yeah, by picking Kyle Flanagan. It's coming out and saying things like he's your best halfback, even though you signed a halfback during the offseason. The fact that key position players, so spine position players, have not come to that club because they didn't understand why Kyle Flanagan was being picked. Also, it's clear as day. Shane Flanagan avoided signing halves and key position players in order to protect Kyle's path to first grade. Yeah. Without question, the amount of guys that have come off contract, like Toby Sexton was available. You know, even someone like Jock Madden, would you have got him to the club? He was going to be really cheap. He was a guy who you could play at half. Not playing Cade Reed. Maybe Cade's not ready, but still, all these players that became available. Jamal Fogarty, how did they not go and get him when he became available?
It sort of, you know, you paint that picture, and the evidence that you've laid out to us there, Charlie, sort of points to that, doesn't it? And you know, all coaches have their favourites, but they do. It, like, you know, and obviously when it's your son, it's Kez is laughing. You were probably someone. Well,
all coaches have their. It's unbelievable. This whole thing is
they do have their favourites.
Laughable.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for Dragons fans because they've got to sit through this and just.
Well, maybe
it's embarrassing to be a Dragon. Like, you don't even want to be known as a Dragons fan right now.
Well, no.
Because of all these like issues like this are just laughable.
Maybe had they had their time over again, and because there was some disagreement about whether they should bring Flano in or not, then maybe they just we're not letting you sign your son.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said last week, Jimmy, with like even how he was brought in and that people didn't support him even when he was an assistant and like.
Yeah. Oh mate,
I just find that bizarre.
Well, imagine that. Like, you're the head coach, and people are like, you don't have like
the full
not of the board, but that's it. They're not a board. They're two boards, and people talk about this joint venture and all this sort of stuff. It's like they are clearly two separate entities.
Yeah.
Like, to have two boards. I don't, and that's not me saying that there's a resolution there, but let's not lie about it.
No.
Let's present it as it is.
And it's clear that ego is what reigns supreme at the Dragons. It's less about let's work together and get this club. It's who's making the calls and who are the big dogs there. They all want to be the big dogs.
Is this, in your opinion, Jimmy, and you've been there, so you're in a good position, I feel. Is this a circuit breaker, or is this just another chapter in the book? Like, is this a genuine circuit breaker, or is this just... someone's going to come in and have to pick it?
You cannot describe this as a circuit breaker.
No.
And this is the thing.
Do you think the circuit breaker has to come up the top?
Well...
See, the CEO's relatively new, though.
Yeah, I've heard he's a good...
I've heard mixed reports, if I'm being honest. I've heard very mixed reports.
Well, in terms of circuit breaker, Manly moving on Seabold and bringing Kieran Foran in, circuit breaker, right?
Yep.
We see that.
Definitely. And Jason King.
Jason King.
They're paired together.
I'm not looking at this and going, tell you what, they've improved their chances to win on Saturday. Do you?
No way.
Ladbrokes. Are they altering the market for Saturday's game?
Hell no.
No way.
They're not, are they? So then, therefore, this isn't a circuit breaker. There is a huge amount of work that needs to be done at that football club. They have made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision.
Yeah. I've had a good look. I watched the New South Wales Cup team and I've had a really good look and spoke to people about their young. They've actually got a lot of really good young guys coming through.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing for me now is the next 12 months, you need to, everything has to be about them. They've got a big crew that's come through together. Everything's got to be about them. You have to get a coach in who's going to be the best for them. You have to build that club around them. You have to get rid of all of those other guys. They have to go. They have to go. I don't know how you get rid of them, but you need to get rid of them. You need to try and pick up some guys that are going to complement Keon and these young guys. Everything has to be about them.
Well, you asked, is this a circuit breaker? I said the answer to that is no. Realistically, you're looking at seeing fruition 4 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends.
At a
It depends
minimum.
how these guys.
Minimum.
Well, Jimmy,
Because if Cade Reed's going to be there,
just for this
how
one.
long? Hang on. How long did the Tigers take to turn around?
5 years. It's 5 years. From where they were at the bottom, they won 3 spoons in a row. Well, more. It's more than that if you go back further and further. But with this Benji Marshall plan, it's taken 5 years.
Oh, yeah. But I'm not talking about Benji Mar. Go back.
Yeah.
See how long it's. Or even with Benji.
Mate, the Tigers have actually covered up for the Dragons as well. Because they've been so bad, the Tigers have taken bullets for the Dragons and taken the attention from the media away. When the reality is there was this absolute mess of an organisation avoiding criticism.
Yeah. I just see it a little like, so you go through, we'll leave Sloan out. Reed, Little, Loco, Pacifica, Keon, Couchman, Egan, Stewart, Halangahu. That's a lot of young guys that they've developed. Obviously, have loved the club. Like, I can see that coming quicker.
Yeah.
Hopefully quicker than 4
Oh,
years.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully.
So you're
They're big salary
Well, are
players.
you
Val,
talking about competing for a title within the next 5 years?
I'm just saying getting back to being competitive.
Yeah, but like a finals team, a finals team in the next
2 or 3 seasons, you'd hope they can get back
no
up.
way.
No
They won't
way.
play finals in the
No
next
way.
couple of years. I reckon
Because they're not
way.
they're not
Not
the only
next season,
team.
but after
Look,
that, like that second,
I reckon
third season.
that
This season's gone. Next season's their development of those kids.
And also, hey mate, right? Okay, we're looking at this that they've just got this silver bullet that they've gonna fire and go bang. Hey, we're all on the same page, and we're all gonna do that. Whoa. Where's the guarantee that happens?
Yeah, true.
You know that they're going to look at this
Well-
situation and go, "Oh yeah, this is what we need to do."
The interim things paints that picture.
If the buy round took over the Dragons, we between the three of us could maybe try and sort it out. But there's the buy
Don't say
round
that.
and Hello Sport going. We're owning it, and like they think something else and we think something else.
Does this interim thing just sum it all up?
Yeah.
That you can't agree on an interim?
Yeah.
An interim?
Of course.
But it sum up?
Kez, if you can't get that decision, how do you do the hard stuff? Because that, for me, like, I can debate about the there's 2 candidates, really. It's Innes or it's Young, because they're in the building at the moment. They're not bringing somebody
Well,
external.
it's hard to bring
Not for
external because everyone's got a job.
because it's not for an interim.
Unless you're going to give them the head coaching.
Not for an interim.
But an
Yeah.
interim coach is like such an easy decision.
And also-
it's such a
well-
basic decision.
well,
like,
and also-
you're not gonna, as
Just
an
a
executive.
caretaker.
As
Well,
an
it's also-
executive, you're not going to get sacked if
Yeah.
you get the interim coach wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like, just put your big ball pants on
Yeah.
and say, I'm making this call. He's the interim. Everyone else, shut up.
Yeah. And this is what we're doing for. It's a short term. There's not really many consequences to this decision. Like I said, it's not going to change their odds on Saturday. But again, like this, they can't agree on that. What makes you think then the more difficult decisions are going to be done in the best interest of the football club? In the best interest
So what's
of
the solution?
Dragons. Well, I think they need to restructure their constitution and their board structure. Like, it shouldn't be a dual board.
No.
It should just be Dragons board.
Well, they've got the football board.
That's what Dave Riccio was alluding
And
to
again,
last
this
week.
But they've got the football
nonsense of
board,
a
which is the
football
Dragons
board.
football board. But then they've got obviously the St George. There's the St George Leagues Club board.
yeah,
There's the win side of it all. It's a mess. Ben Haran gone obviously as well. So that the most important thing for them is to get a strong GM of footy. Like
Well,
could they go and offer Gus Gould now $2 million a year to be their head of football?
I don't know if they've got the dough.
Well, the win
just
guys are
built it.
billionaires.
They just built their centre.
Yeah, they just spent 60, 70 million. They must
They
have
did, or government?
No,
Or
Bruce
or-
Gordon. Bruce Gordon. That's why it's called the Bruce Gordon Centre.
Oh, so you put up the dough.
Yeah.
But you've
Or a large
yeah.
chunk of it anyway.
I
And they
don't
probably
think
had some government
I don't.
assistance.
Well, you could say that go to Gus. Just on Benny Aran, look, personal friend of mine. Unfortunately, it was a position that he had to go. You ask him. You speak about Gus Gould. You know, someone who I legit think would come in and could do a fantastic job. Mike Rush. So you guys probably won't know who Mike Rush is. He was the CEO at St. Helens from a football background. No longer there. He'd been at that club for like nearly 30 years. Just finished. He was my academy coach. Progressed through the ranks, and has been directly and indirectly responsible for the emergence of that. He knows about young talent. He bought myself, James Roby, Morgan Knowles, Matty Lees, to name but four just off the top of my head through that system. Also went and bought people like Eddie Gardner, John Wilcombe from lower league clubs, bought them in to become Great Britain internationals. There's so many star players that he was around. He knows what success looks like, but you have to give some, whether it's him or whether it's Gus, and I know Mike Rush is at work now. He actually applied. He was close to getting the CEO of the Dragons job. I think he interviewed it. Maybe that's why he's not at St. Helens now, but that's a story for another day. But whoever comes in, you need to say, whichever you board are, this is your, we'll run the business. You take care of the field. Distinct separation. So Gus Gould doesn't really answer to Aaron Warburton. Like they're separate departments. One is the business of the Bulldogs.
Yep.
One is the football
Roosters
club.
is set up the same.
Roosters will be exactly the same. That's how you've got to do it. If they want to see change, I said 4 years. If they don't, you just, you know what? We'll be having this conversation in 3 years' time with Young, Innes, Peyton, Brad Arthur. Like
they need an.
I reckon that's the question. The question is about this GM, which we don't have enough of in rugby league, like enough obvious candidates. There'll be 10 coaches that get thrown up in the next 2 days, right? Like there'll be all the normal ones. But I reckon that's the important one, Jimmy. Who's supporting him off? Who's taking all the brunt of this board level stuff where the coach doesn't have to deal with it? And also setting the coach up for the best chance to be successful on the field.
Well, the last time the Dragons were successful was under Coach Wayne Bennett, and
I'm guessing Wayne didn't cop anything from anyone about it.
what Wayne said to Mr. Doust at the time was, "I'll call you."
Brilliant.
I'll call you. You see ya. You stay over there a little while. You stay over there. If I need anything, don't lose my number.
That is
Lose
exactly
my number.
what they
And
do.
when you who's this calling? I don't have this phone number.
That is
recognised.
exactly what they do.
Hello, Mr. Doust. Oh, it's Wayne Bennett. Oh, hey Wayne, how are you? I've not got your number saved. Oh, good, because you don't need it.
Well,
That is exactly what they need, I think.
yeah.
And
so
you
then
know
who
what?
would that be then, Luke?
Well, this is the issue for a young coach. That is incredibly difficult. Like Wayne can do that because he knows exactly who he is and what he stands for, and the success talks for itself. And there isn't one of them around. Let's be honest. I don't know. Like Jimmy, do you have someone?
Can I throw someone up? Luke? And he is currently a head coach, and this is I would be offering him the general manager of football role, and I would find out what he's getting paid at the Roosters and nearly double his salary, or at least give him a 50% pay rise, and that's Trent Robinson to become the general manager of football. The end is near. The end is near for Trent Robinson at the Sydney Roosters, and you say, yeah, you can finish this year. This then becomes his last year coaching at the Sydney Roosters, and then he becomes the head of football there. I know he's probably minted and money's not that important, but if you nearly double his salary, that's going to make him think about it. And I think he would, in his own mind, Trent Robinson, think the end of the Roosters is probably soon.
Yeah, that's a massive call. That won't happen.
But who else is that? Like that sort of character out there? There's not.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You need someone like that. But that won't happen.
You know who's moved down the south coast?
What, Desi Hasler?
And he's not afraid to upset a board. Like Bulldogs fans will tell you, like.
Look, I'm just thinking,
and you know, maybe Des, and you know what if you're putting someone like Des, you know what you're going to get, right? You're going to get probably some, and this would not maybe not as the coach, but as like a GM of football, something like that, to run it, to like really run the show, like actually run the show.
I wonder if Des would be interested in that.
A general manager of football.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, he would. So
he's not coaching.
So someone like Des, or like I said, Mike Rush, a bit of an overseer, or both, some sort of like Des is maybe a coaching director to actually look at like the nitty gritty of coaching.
The only question mark I'd have, would Des just have his eyes on that head coaching role, and the new guy comes in and Des is there watching this guy, fucking no, get me in there.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe,
then it just wears him out, and he wants to.
That's the beauty of Gus. Gus doesn't want to coach.
Yeah, that's probably
right.
Right.
He's such an intellectual.
And Mike Rush doesn't want to coach either.
Shane Richardson's the other one.
Yeah,
I actually think this general manager football appointment is as important as their head coaching appointment.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, correct.
Because that's got to deal with all that.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can get a younger coach in. Say, let's just use Des as an example. If Des is your GM, he deals with all that. And he takes all the noise away from, say it's a Hornby, Young, Teo, King, a young coach. He doesn't have to field one call from a director or anything like that. There's a experienced GM there dealing with all that comes with that club, and a young coach then can actually coach. It might be a Mick Ennis, it might be it could be any of these guys, and they don't have to walk into the building and go, oh my God, how do I politically stand here?
And you know what? I don't care who you are, unless something like this happens, you're destined to fail at that club at the moment, the way things are. If things don't change from a decision-making process, an organisational process, it's just, you're going to be more of the same. And we can see the answer. The Dragons fans can see the answer. I think most people that have been around the sport can see the answer. That, yeah, they've got some big appointments about who is next in head coaching and who is next in the general manager of football, or however you want to, whatever job title you want to put in there. But, that press conference today, the answer's staring you in the face about what the big,
Is that the worst press conference you've ever
arguably the biggest decision that you're going to have to make.
Worst press
or the biggest changes you're going to have to make. Let's use that. The biggest changes you're going to have to make.
It's the worst presser I've ever seen, because he sat there like he was Birdie Big Bollocks. Like, the media's this, the media's that. All right, mate. Well, if you're such a powerful big dog, why don't you say to your board, I'm picking the interim coach. All of you shut up. If the interim coach ruins the club, sack me then. Because it's not a big decision.
But
don't carry on as if you're this big, powerful guy and screw you, screw that. We're doing well. Welcome to the Bruce Gordon Centre. Look how great it is. But I can't come up with the interim coach unless I speak to this board member, board member, that board member, this coaching staff, that coaching staff. Make sure it all happens. There you go. Put your big boy pants on and make a decision. It's not hard.
But again,
he couldn't have said it any better.
You know what though, Charlie? Unfortunately for Lancaster, he can't.
Which is says everything you need to know.
He can't. Maybe in defence of him, he'd love to tell you that.
But why does?
And he'd love to be the person in charge that has that authority. But I think it's written in the Constitution, it doesn't work that way. And the fact that, look, let's be brutally honest. Flanagan was under pressure coming into this season, right? They had a big drop-off. So if you're not thinking that this isn't even on your... I know they extended him at the back end of last year, or the midway through last year. This has got to be on your radar from post, maybe round 3. if not round 4, what are we at now? Round 7. If this isn't on your radar, this hasn't just like boom, boom, boom. And where did this come from?
Yeah.
Again, so you're sitting around and look. So the Cowboys now, right? Just to deflect a little bit, the Cowboys, they've not made a call on Coach Payton yet. But let's not be naive. They're thinking, they're talking, they've probably got a candidate pecking order list about if he goes. Why have the Dragons not done this? So you go, it's the domino effect. You go, okay, well, if results don't change, then Flanagan goes, and then this person comes in. It's a simple, we make decision A, which is move Flano. Well, then decision 1A is this person is in. You've got to have that already lined up.
And that
this shouldn't be. And so Monday afternoon shouldn't be about discussing it. It should just be about domino.
Yeah, correct. Simple as that.
Well, it's probably time to get stuck into some football. Before we go over the weekend's games, some of this incidental contact stuff, Kez. I know you spoke to Graham Annesley. What I really dislike about some of the incidences that we're seeing is, and it's not just this round. It's been creeping into our game where, on play 5, and it can only happen on play 5 where the ball is turned over, a player can challenge the ruling of a turnover to go back and basically review.
Did my head get touched?
Contact with the head. Now, look, you and I both know the short-term and potential long-term consequences of head contact, head trauma, concussion. We both know that. And we both, I applaud the NRL's how serious they take this. And nobody wants to go back to the bad old days of you knocked out, you smelling salts, you get up, you go again. Like, nobody wants to see that. There's no room in society for that. But I think we've gone too far. I reckon about 95% of rucks or carries, if the tackle is made, there would be some form of incidental contact with the head. I carry the ball into 2 or 3 defenders as I go down to the floor. My head would be touched, right? And I think you have to accept that. But there are some that are happening in games that are leading to penalties, which are just... unfortunately, they are encouraging people to stay down. And we will caveat into some of the hip drop stuff. Payne has, upon reflection... Now, I know it wasn't necessarily a hip drop or a cannonball, but it's close. If he leaves the field, he's actually incentivized now to stay down as opposed to... I heard Ricky Stewart talk about the fabric of our game is being taken away. For me, one of the great characteristics of our sport is pushing through pain, carrying on when you're in difficult moments, and this just takes that away.
Are we doing our lay down of the week?
All thanks to koala mattresses.
All thanks to koala mattresses.
Or other mattress
yeah.
brands.
Any mattress.
There was a huge shift this weekend, which was good. Because when we spoke to Graham last Monday, the week before was horrific. Like, there was one on Teddy where him and Kennedy jumped up and Kennedy touched Teddy on the face with his hand. That was going for the ball and they called it high contact. Braden Trindle dived on the ground and Gussie went to pick the ball up.
Yeah.
Angus Crichton and touched Trindle on the head. Like, it was as bad as I've ever seen. And then this week, the Melbourne one was the one where Friday night, that last play, Warbrick comes in, he basically ducks into the tackle, they touch his head, and the bunker goes, that's incidental contact, we're not penalising it. Now, there was a huge uproar because everyone's like, where's the consistency? You've been penalising that all year. But no, that's the best. They've gone, okay, we've taken it too far. And I like this. As strong as Peter and Andrew and the NRL are in enforcing rules and things like this, they have been known to go, they won't do it publicly often, but put their hand up and go, geez, you've gone too far on that, wind it back. So they've wound the disruptor back We saw that this
Yeah.
weekend. There was next to no penalties with it, and then the high contact stuff, because there's a massive difference between, Jaden Sewer's one.
Yes,
And
exactly.
even yesterday, there's Greg Marzu on Nwangani Tuase in the in-goal. I think Blocker Roach was in commentary and said, that's high contact because it was kind of close to his head. And they said, no, it's not high contact. So I reckon they've had a meeting and gone, okay, we need to distinguish what is and isn't, because the amount of people laying down when they knew, and it was like becoming more of a strategic thing.
Yeah,
it went way too far, and hopefully they've changed now.
even in the Dogs v Para game, and this isn't what Leo Thompson's gone and applied a little bit of pressure to Moses. Like back in the day, Moses gets up. He's incentivized to stay down now. Like all players are incentivized to stay down.
It's hard as a player too, because if you get that penalty, it's a huge turning point.
There was a game last year, Kez, you may not be aware of this, but Jaden Campbell I think he was hit late.
No, high.
He was hit high, yeah. He was hit high, and instead of staying down to get the penalty, he bounced back up. And the debate was around, what's the right or wrong thing to do? Is the right thing to stay down and get a penalty for your team and increase your team's chances of winning the game, or potentially, with that 2 points, win the game, kick the goal, take the 2 points on offer, and away we go? Or get, the values of our game, the fabric of our game, or maybe a certain section of people that view our game being that way. I'm just going to get up.
We had this conversation in 2018 when I got to the Roosters, this exact conversation about laying down. It was something. It was like what was happening now, and Boyd Cordner got up in front of everyone and said, "No one lays down in this team. No one lays down in this team." And everyone went, "Ooh, okay."
That's awesome.
Literally,
It is.
It was like, I don't care if we lose this the game. We are not laying down. Like, you don't lay down here.
The worry is if you start reviewing all these incidents, you could, if a team has a captain's challenge up its sleeve, and they'd say down 2, a minute to go.
Run in with your head.
You could as soon as you feel contact in the head, intentionally knock the ball on to stop the play and to cause a captain's challenge.
Yeah.
That's the situation we could get to.
That's why I liked that Melbourne one, because they just challenged that purely thinking, I think he ducked his head, he would have got touched. They would have thought, we'll get an extra set here, and it wasn't. It was an incidental.
But if that was 6 minutes into the game, would that have been given a penalty?
No.
You don't think so? Yeah.
I hope not. I don't know that yet. We'll know that more in 2 weeks. But I hope I think they've turned a call. I reckon they have.
Yeah, but last week it would have been a penalty for sure.
So I applaud them for
definitely. Yeah.
I applaud them for turning that corner. And again, I think the Jaden Sewer send off, 11 minutes to go, that probably helps.
Oh no, he was gone in the first minute.
You reckon he was
gone in the first minute? Just how reckless. It bordered on the Suaalii one from Origin. Obviously, Cam got straight back up, which helped. If Cam's gone there, he gets 8 weeks.
Should Young have been sin-binned for the hit on Farlongo?
No.
No, okay.
No, I think
he got 2 weeks for it.
Yeah, no, but
I thought that was bordering on sin-bin.
He had cut under his eye. I reckon that was more head on head. Like head first, shoulder comes up. I don't think it was that bad, to be honest.
Okay. Match review committee disagrees.
I've got one. What about the hip drops?
Yeah.
Because the Jaden Nikorima one, and now Mitch Kenny is horrible, right?
Yeah.
What happened? And Mitch even put a thing out on Instagram saying there was no intent or malice in it. That is not a hip drop.
By definition.
A one-on-one tackle around the legs when someone's gotten to, that's not a hip drop. It's not a hip drop. It's a tackle. And it's unfortunate that he broke his leg, but it is. And I did my syndesmosis the same thing. Jaden Sewer half beat him in a semi-final, and he slid down the back just trying to tackle me. It's not a hip drop. Hip drop is when you swing your leg and properly sit on the back of someone's calves. It's gone way too far. Way too far.
I'm with you.
Emre Gula, he was backwards.
Yes.
He was backwards hanging on like this. That is not a hip drop, mate. That's a missed tackle. And you're just trying to hang on.
You as a player, Kez, we accept when you go out onto the field, there's a risk of injury, right?
Yep.
And some are avoidable, some are unavoidable. You know, people blow out their knees, stepping, hamstrings go, Achilles heels go. You put a shot on somebody, your shoulder, your AC goes. You're getting tackled. Is it time for people to have more of a acceptable risk of injury, like to accept that there's a risk of injury? And we all know that there was no intention in Nicarima there, and Kenny knows it. Everybody watching it goes, he's just trying to make a tackle there, just like you would if you're going to hit someone with your shoulder. You're just trying to make a tackle. If it pops out on you, then the ball carrier doesn't get penalised for running too hard.
No. I think it's gone too far, and they need someone to, there needs to be some identification of
what's foul play and what isn't.
The cannonball, right?
That's foul play.
It was if you run in and make contact below, I think it was knee, then that's foul play. But you can run as hard as you want and hit them across from knee to hip.
Yeah, because one's foul play and one isn't.
Like I'm saying, a one-on-one tackle, a hip drop shouldn't exist, in my opinion. If you're running at me, I need to get you down. I can get you down any way I want other than knocking you in the head. I get the ones where there's two up top, someone comes in trying to blade a third man and they start sitting on the back of people. That, to me, is cannonballish.
Yeah.
Whereas one-on-one tackles, I'm trying to get you down. If you feel me sliding down the back of your legs, you need to fall down. There's a bit of onus on the attacker. If you want to try and run through that tackle, then you risk injury.
That's an interesting point, isn't it? That at the moment, to avoid the injury, all the responsibility is on the tackler.
Lose your legs. Because that was the same when I did it. I tried to run through the tackle and then he ends up sitting on the back accidentally. Whereas if I just went, okay, he's probably got me here.
Go down.
I've just got to lose my legs.
It's an interesting point you make that, because that would be, well, both instincts are hard. You as a defender, they're not purposefully trying to hip drop.
No.
They're just clinging on. They're trying to execute the tackle, as you say. Now, what they're trying to bring into the game, it appears, is, well, you've got to stop doing that. Well, you can't, because it's instinctual. You go to the other
speaks about it all the time.
You go to your point of the instinct, if I'm half through, my instinct...
Get you to the ground as any way possible.
But if I'm running the ball, if I break through the line, my instinct may be to push on and keep going. But maybe the responsibility is on the ball carrier then?
It is. I think those one-on-ones, when there's 2-on-1s, I get it. 3-on-1, and there's a third man coming in and he's trying to get him to the ground. You can't. They're the bad ones. But when it's one-on-one, like Jaden Nicarima, what do we want him to do? Just as he starts to fall off the back, just completely let go, and then there's 20 a game. A lot get missed, and then someone gets injured, or someone lays down, and it's not good.
I think we're making some improvements. We're making a lot of improvements in terms of what the game is looking like. And unfortunately, probably the same old story as we get to Origin. We watch that game and go, geez, that was great to watch. And
I know, but you can't ref. I understand you can't ref everything like that because the quality isn't like that. And this is probably unpopular, but I think the way they ref the games to start the year, yes, it was over the top, but it sets a precedent for the year. We're not going to cop it. Now you pull back and it starts to normalise, right? The 6 again's gone way down the last couple of weeks, but they've set that precedent through teams, and teams have gone away and worked over the last couple of months and gone, we can't infringe, it's going to kill us, it's going to hurt us. So now they've pulled back. Now the refs can pull back a bit and the game starts to get back to neutral.
Out of interest, did you think they went too far with the disruptors this weekend in terms of not giving any of them, basically? And there was a couple incidences where there probably were some disruptors that were just let go.
Do you have an example?
Well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a game where the players
I'd rather go
jumping
that way
for the
than
ball,
the other way.
not going for the ball at all, and no penalty was given. There was a couple, I think, in the Roosters game.
The Dogs game.
Had a couple,
it's common sense. You can see if someone's
going for the ball. But what I'm saying is there was a few moments like that.
Well, I'd rather them go that way than what we had, to be fair.
So just let it go.
I would rather go that way than the other way.
And look, the NRL is a business, right? And they've got a core group of people like us. We're lifers, right? Like, we're going to watch the NRL, even if it evolved into some form of like 13 on 13 touch, or like, it's going to take a lot for me not to watch the game. But there's a lot of old school what would be labelled as old school that maybe aren't happy with what it looks like, but they're still going to watch. But
it'll be better. I said, I think they've gone hard early to set a bit of this is what we want it to look like, and it's pulled back already. You can tell on the weekend it's pulled back.
Can we finally talk the Dogs? Because I have been waiting an hour for us to talk the Bulldogs.
Week's a long time in sport, isn't it?
Bloody oath is.
Is that an unbelievable result? Like 50 against Gold Coast at home, and then the Dogs beat the team who we all thought wouldn't be beaten this year. I gave Parra absolutely no chance.
Same.
I just thought Dogs turned the corner, how good they looked. It was a long turnaround into that too.
Yeah. Coach Geraldo was livid, and rightly so.
We spoke about it the other day and we said they've got a big tick now because they know they can beat Penrith at their own game. But it was these ones where you've just got to win, so they end up first, second, third or fourth.
Yeah.
And they just haven't been able to do that this year. But it doesn't mean, mate, they're going to be there. They're going to be there, and they know they can beat Penrith. So that's the psychological barrier. But it's about racking up these wins throughout the year, so then you're not 5th, 6th or 7th or 8th going, we've got to play 4 weeks in a row to make the grand final.
And also, in order to win the grand final, you've got to practice winning 4 games in a row. Like I reckon talk of like top 4. What really helps you as a side is knowing what it takes to put 4 weeks of football together. You might get lucky and it only need to be 3, but if you've not practiced throughout the year, putting 4 games back to back to back to back. Yeah, I know it's still early, but this would have been the perfect opportunity for the Dogs to put 4 games back to back to back to back together. I think you need to do that. Know what an actual block of tough, hard, grinding, final style football looks like, and then you've got that. You've got that knowledge going in. It's not, we've won 3, we had a spell off, or what this might be. The next block of fixtures for the Dogs, you think the attitude will change and they'll kick, but it'll be like, well, we had that lapse. You can't afford that lapse. It was, and I think for Parra, it was an emotional game. Like, you could tell.
That's what I mean. Does it say more about Parra or the Dogs this one? Because the Dogs weren't completely horrible.
No, and there's a few tries there that, like, the De Silva one.
Don't take out the scoreline.
Look, Eels, fantastic, opportunistic. Good on them. Yeah.
Because that was so bad the week before.
Yeah.
In front of your home crowd.
And to come back like that shows that gives Parra fans a bit of hope, and it gives their football side a bit of life as well.
They've still got all those injuries. It's not like they had people coming back.
But yeah,
the Dogs go to Brisbane this week. They probably come up with a good performance.
Well,
that's probably going to be the
what, Kez? Like, the Dogs have that win against Penrith. They face what was a dreadful Parra team, right? So, and then you're looking at Brisbane the week ahead. You probably got maybe you've got your eyes on that game.
Friday night game too.
Yes, and then maybe you think, well, there's no Will Walsh be back? No. Carrigan, will he be back? There's no Hunt there. You watch Payne Haas go down, and you're like, oh, well, hang on a minute. We got, we'll get Brisbane next week. You start to automatically think, it's like, whoa, hang on. Your focus is what's important now, which is Parramatta that are highly motivated. Like, I know that the Dogs got the first on the score sheet, but then lack of concentration, Fox goes over. It's like,
I want to get your one on this. Curran at left centre?
I heard the justification.
Do you want to say that?
It was, well, obviously, Tuala goes down, captain's run, and the justification was, I think within the squad, it was it was slim options, and Sua has played 1 game of first grade in 2 years. Felt it would have been unfit like Josh being a seasoned pro. That's not the reason they lost.
No, it's not.
Well, even I've said it before. Like,
he wasn't
Sitili
too bad
Tupanua played in the centres for the
for
Roosters
us,
2
he did
years
for a
ago.
long time. Yeah.
Like
we actually thought at one stage he might play there for a long period of time.
but he's been so good in the middle.
He's been their best middle.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't the thing. I just wanted to ask if why was there anyone else. But I do get it. Once you've chosen that 19, you can't.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, and
you
he
can't
literally
change.
went last rep of captain's run. So
Kick-out was quiet.
he was, and after an amazing game the week before. This is no excuse, right? But we're seeing this a lot
Penrith.
this year, where we've spoken there about the consistency of the rules of engagement of our competition and what round 1, 2, 3 look like versus. And even what round 6 looked like compared to round 7 with what the match officials are doing. Maybe it's the speed of the game, but I think we're seeing it more and more difficult for teams to be up each and every week. The Tigers, look, they've been up for so long. They had that emotional win Easter Monday, and then they just couldn't get the job done against the Broncos that were there for the taking. It's an incredibly hard competition, and I'm not deflecting from the Dogs because it was a tough watch and bitterly disappointing. But I've even started to think about how the game has changed so rapidly, and we're all looking for a competitive advantage, and that is shown in terms of how, do you lay down, do you not? Boyd Cordner, no one lays down in this team. Be interesting to see what he would have said in 2026 when it's changed a lot. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't know if the head of performances and the sports scientists and the trainers have caught up. And I wonder if the team that can figure out how to train the players in a different way and prepare the players differently in the off season, in the week to week, can that create a better, more consistent performance? Because I don't think teams have adapted yet. Be interesting to listen to this, like coaching methods in Norway, and they completely changed the game, and everyone followed them. And it's just, I think we're probably still training how we would in 2020, and I think the game has moved, and I think training needs to adapt. And I think the club or the team that can make that adaptation first will kick.
Do you think that means we'll see a different style of athlete playing rugby league? The body shape of a forward changing?
Potentially, yes. I think it's going to lead to more variety, though. See, I still think the Spencer Leniu style player of, I reckon you've got to go and create just a 20-minute player. Everybody used to say, "Oh, we've all got different weight programs, but individual weight programs," but it was pretty much the same. I think we'll see.
What did you do?
I didn't have one.
I think we'll see, almost like entirely different pre-seasons for individuals.
Maybe. Yeah.
Also for maybe like 2 or 3 specialist players that are, especially with a 19-man bench, you can carry a Payne Haas without the conditioning. Like that, like let's take Payne Haas as an example. If he didn't have the conditioning, which he shouldn't because he's that big, having him on the bench, 20 minutes, specialist. If you've got 19, you might not need to use him.
I know, but the way our game's going, that 20 minutes you could be tackling for 20 minutes at times. I'm not across all that. I've never been across like how people train and prepare and different way. I've never looked into it but I do see your point. It has changed a lot. I don't know if teams are keeping up or not. But it'd be interesting to see. Like Penrith have obviously adapted the best since COVID. Like they've changed the game. They've changed how coaches look at the game in terms of ball in play. How you build those ratchet sets where it's things like that. They completely changed the game, which not many people talk about too much. But yeah, I'm not across all that stuff. I still think it's the same game.
It is, but I reckon that you're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say we're going to completely change things. But I reckon there's some dials to move there.
Yeah. I think it's a tick for our competition that anyone can beat anyone. Like the Eels, so like I don't want to compare it to Super League, but like the Eels have people like Mitch Moses, who on his day is probably behind Nathan the best half in the comp. Every team has players that can just turn it on for a day, like turn it on for parts of the season. Even Newcastle, you know what I mean? They've been up, come down the last couple of weeks. I think it's a tick for our competition more than saying teams are like doing this.
Yeah, it is a tick for our competition, but someone's going to get a grip of it and go, hang on a minute. Like, there's smart people out there that want to figure out, how can I find a way to win? I can't just put all the resources into
I think Penrith have, though.
Yeah, they probably have, but has, again, the next evolution of the game. Are we starting to see that? And again, Penrith are probably closer to the end game than anybody else. But then are there other teams that would look, you can't make the adjustments now, but for seasons 27 to 29, start to recruit differently, start to implement different training programs, different schedules, even, you know, do you go full contact? Do you I reckon there's some tweaks there that teams can make in order to provide a more consistent performance on a weekend. Because for me, the range is far too big. You know, when people used to say, "Oh, the difference between our best and our worst, it's too far." You always look at ways to shorten that. And I think the methods of the preseason, I've just been thinking about it lately about how to gain an advantage. I think we'll see some change in methods. But
I really like it. I think what you're saying is spot on. The other thing as well, because of the inconsistency, you normally need 16 wins to make top 4. We could see a year where even 14 wins might be enough to sneak into that 4 spot if everyone's going to be beating everyone.
What this does, Charlie, it creates an amazing August where lots of, you know, if it is jam-packed in the middle there, which looking like it will be, it's going to create an amazing August where, you know, and no givens.
Yeah.
No givens.
Maybe this is the NRL's plan.
Forget your load management. There won't be any of that as well because teams won't be able to because they'll be trying. Because you know you have to be in the top 4 to win the comp, really, these days, don't you? Especially with what you guys are saying about
you want
fatigue. And if you don't have that week off, you're at such a big disadvantage.
Well, Canberra and Melbourne have 2 late buys.
I know, but do you not think that that week off finals is such a huge advantage?
It is, but again, having a bye, I think they're 24 and 26. That narrows that gap.
Well, Storm might be battling
just
for
slightly,
the spoon.
just slightly. Oh God,
he's a lunatic. He's a lunatic.
Well, should we go? Should we skip to the Storm? I know
let's talk the Storm. Great game on the weekend. It was a great game. You called it. It was a great game.
Great game. You were down there sideline.
Yeah, I did sideline for it. It was fun.
Two quality sides going up against each other. I've got to say, I thought the Horsburgh penalty was a complete joke.
Yep. Yes.
Like, that's not dissent.
No, it's not.
Do we know what he said?
I'm just going to guess because he was thrashing around on the ground. He would have just said to something like, F me, get him off me or something.
Yeah.
Which is said about 10 times during the game.
And I think he's allowed to say that.
Of course he is.
He's allowed to claim for a penalty. Mitchell Moses does it all the time. Tedesco does it all the time.
It's ginger racism is what it is.
I reckon it's the ginger.
Racism towards gingers.
It's called gingerist.
Gingerist. He's an absolute gingerist. Who was the referee? Was it Liam Kennedy, I think it was? I'll have to double check that. Peter Goff.
Yeah, what's the gingerhead ref?
Gingerhead.
Todd Smith.
Yeah, Todd Smith wouldn't have given that penalty.
Absolutely not.
He would have gone, Corey.
He would have given a penalty to the other guy for lying all over him.
It changed the game.
And also,
it changed the game.
Look, there's traits that certain demographics have that you just can't help. You're fiery when you're a ginger. Like, we're being like punished for just being who we are.
Oh, it's funny.
Yourself.
Just being yourself. I mean, can I not just be myself and live in this world of NRL? No, I thought it did change the game, Kez. It shocked me. And even some of the talk, Horsburgh, he'll get a stern talent off from Stewart and he owes his teammates. It's like, no, we can all accept that is
Nope.
a joke. And Ricky Stewart spoke about he made some comments around the game and he was almost like the lack of penalties. Melbourne are the best in the business at players sleepers in the ruck. Like,
ooh, yeah.
geez, Harry Grant is an absolute expert. He cuts off the chain of supply to one side of the ruck a lot.
All the time.
A lot. He is there, just subtle as anything. I want a player to have the courage to just pass the ball into him. I want the match officials to go, you know what, Harry, you are interfering with play. Because, Kez, as a dummy half, you have the right to be able, you have the right for a free, almost like 180 degree view of where you pass, maybe a little bit smaller degree, but he's in that tunnel of vision. They
do give it a 6 again now. It was one of the things they brought in. If anyone's laying in the ruck, they're 6 again, which they have been doing pretty consistently.
Canberra, huge victory. Just
massive.
Another relieving victory. The Storm, however, 5 games in a row now. People go, oh, well, they did that in 2012 and they won the comp that year, but
that was during Origin and after Origin.
Correct.
Yeah, this feels different.
This is very different. Yeah, they tried really hard. You could see, especially their 3 leaders, Harry, Cam, and Jerome. Like, you could see it meant a lot to them. They were trying hard. Like, I haven't seen Cam go through this period yet in his career. Like, the start of the game, he had his hands on the ball every set, a couple of times a set. He was taking these short sides, and then he missed 2 really bad tackles that you don't see. He's a great defensive half, always been really good defensive half. He misses Ethan Strange for the first try when he gave to Sasangi, and then Sasangi steps back in and he just comes up with air on that one, which you never see from Cam. Like, he's a very good defender. And then he goes down a short side and throws the ball out, basically. And then the intercept one, like Cam Munster just scores that. He just runs through and scores. He was one-on-one with someone coming across. But the Cam Munster we all know, he just steps around someone and scores. So you can see his confidence. He's just off. Like, he's really off, and it's going to take him a little bit to get back into it, because this isn't through just an attitude thing or a lack of trying. Like, he's trying really hard. Jerome Hughes is still playing really good footy. Like, he's up all over him. Mate,
he is, isn't he? Yeah.
In a team that's getting beaten, he's actually playing really good footy. Their edge defence is the one. Like, Canberra went down that left edge a few times and just went straight through. Sasangi ran for, he was 200 metres.
He was awesome. He's awesome, Sasangi, but
Jack Howarth's a little bit off with his decision making. He's been in and out of the team.
Like, I reckon he's battling injuries, Jack Howarth, the way he's moving.
You can tell, they're just a bit all over the shop. And I could feel it in Craig's presser during the week. His tone changed from, like, angry and we're working hard out of defence to, he spoke about all the challenges they've faced off the field and a lot of stuff out of their control. So I reckon he's just softened a little bit and gone, okay, this could be
interesting. That case,
I just felt it. I could feel he's probably gone, okay, this could be a bit of a longer term fix than I thought. This isn't just to let's get in the wrestle room and get our defence back. I think he realises there's a lot of development that needs to happen in that team, and he will get them there. Like, this guy's done it over 2.5 decades. He will get them up to speed, but I think he realises that it's a little bit of a bigger job than maybe what he first thought.
Well, go on, Charlie.
No, I was going to say, I think they're very worried about their second halves as well, because it was at halftime.
That scarred them a bit.
Yeah, I was doing sideline. You speak to the assistant coaches at halftime and get information about what's going on, and you could sense that there was a huge message at halftime that we have been terrible in these second halves. You guys need to figure it out. Craig Bellamy supposedly put it on the players to be like, we've been bad in second halves. You guys need to stay with it, figure it out and fight.
Fix it yourself.
And then fix it yourself, exactly. And then they completed at 57% in the second half and gave away 4 penalties. Yeah, well, that's dreadful.
Well, let's give them responsibility and ownership to the second half performance is putting it in the hands of the players. And I like that approach. Just I didn't like what we saw and what we witnessed. And it's going to, look, nobody is going to write Melbourne off. We're going to look at examples of Penrith from last year that came from way in a probably a worse situation.
They were last after.
Yeah, I don't know quite what their record was though. But here's the record at the moment. They're 2-5. Big picture stuff. They're likely not looking at this big picture stuff. But we speak about this often here. You know, the ladder. I don't like looking at the ladder. I like looking at teams' records. Their record being 2-5. You need a record to guarantee to play finals. You need a 13-11 record. With 17 games left, they need to go 11 from 17.
Easily done.
Which is easily done. However, you can only drop 6, and they are a team that historically has been affected by state of origin. So you've got Munster, who he's playing Origin.
Captain.
Grant is playing Origin. Coates is playing Origin. Liero, maybe.
He did last year.
He did last year.
Not playing very well.
You got to throw him in there.
This year
He'll probably be on the 6-man bench at one of those games.
Yeah.
Who took him on?
He's only running for like 70 metres a game, Trent Liero, for the season.
I know, but you've seen Queenslanders just
Yeah.
come from reserve grade.
And it'll be
True.
the loyalty aspect of Liero.
Yeah. Well, Payne now, so Yuta Kamano
Yeah, he's
comes into the equation. Josh King, no, he won't.
Nah, I don't think Josh King would be in the team. You've got Coates obviously still injured at the moment. They'll have Munster. They'll have Grant.
Yeah. So you've got 5.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is
3 best players.
That is, but again, so did Penrith, and before Origin, they were. I think it was a little bit later in the season where
I think they were last at halfway for some reason.
Penrith, they were last. Or it was around like around 12 or 11. They were last. Yeah.
Anyway, look, Melbourne won't look to other organisations for inspiration. They'll look from within for inspiration, and they know the answers lie within. The answers don't lie at Penrith and what they did last year. But you know that, like I say, you go big picture stuff. 11 from 17. You can't with that. You can't afford to have any silly hiccups along the way, because you do have that Origin period to manage, and they'll
be in the fight. There's going to be a lot of teams in the fight from 5th to 14th, 13th, 14th. They got South this weekend's huge in Melbourne.
The Warriors did.
The Warriors did. Last time they lost 3 in a row in Melbourne. They got Brisbane.
When was the last time
Warriors
they did? They're 5 in a row now.
Yeah, well, they've never
2002, I think it was.
Yeah, so that was pre Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy's never lost 6 games in a row. I think they'll figure it out, the Melbourne Storm, and I think they'll win this weekend against South. I reckon they'll figure it out. But you're almost going to put a line through them for the comp, because you say 11 out of 17 to make the top 8. I think they can't win the comp unless they're in the top 4. So you're almost at the point where...
Well, like I say, they've got their bye.
Yeah, but also I see...
late bye. See, I think that late bye, Charlie,
I think
you're
it's so hard. I think it's
I never write anyone off they can't win the comp now, unless you're the Dragons.
You never know. The interim, it might get them firing. On the Raiders, I think it is concerning that the Storm nearly won that game, because the Storm... They only lost by... They could have easily won that game. There was a couple moments late in the game where if they completed 57% in the second half, and they nearly won that game.
Yeah.
There was a telling play. It was their second last set down on Canberra's line. Hughes gets tackled with the ball on last left post. Munster's lined up on the left, and he's got a 4 with Joseph Tapani in front of him, and Harry throws the ball right to Wishart, who puts a kick in over to Will Warbrick. Warbrick catches it and gets tackled, and I just went, wow, like Cam Munster, he needs the ball in his hand with the game on the line with the middle in front of him, and Harry looked at him and went the other way. And obviously, they just thought maybe the kick was the best option, but it was just a little insight into it's just not them. Like, it's when we haven't seen this crew go through it, I don't think. We've seen Cooper and that go through it a couple of times, but not this crew. But like on to Canberra, you're right. They looked awesome to start the game, and then they just go through these. It might be the young side. They go through these huge dips where it's just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what is that? Like some of the tries, you just went, what's happened there?
Yeah.
They just opened them up. Even at the end there, the game was over. They run a simple shape out of yardage. Munster put, I think, Sewer through, and they just score, and you go, oh, wow, they could lose here. They were great in patches. I thought Sanders and Strange were really good. And then other patches, you just go, ooh, that's
Well,
way
Strange
off.
kicks the ball dead. They're dominating the game, and Strange gives away a 7-tackle set.
Yeah.
Just an unnecessary, risky play to make when the game's on the line. Is it that game management side of it, Luke?
There's a little bit of it, but I think that those two are doing a really good job. I think those two have actually been two of their best players to start the year.
And the best is yet to come from that combination. They're still figuring it out.
Sanders was second half. I was a little bit critical of them in the first half because they're parking Weeks on the left, Strange on the right. Sanders is playing a lot through the middle of the field, linking up with both of them. I'd love to see Strange be able to move around a bit more. Don't park them two because they're so dynamic, and like I want to see Weeks touching the ball 2 or 3 times a set, not just when they go to the left.
The Broncos with one of the most inspiring victories. The belief that gives the club in the short and long term that, hey, you know, a lot of people said, you know, oh, without Walsh, they don't win the Prem last year. Without Haas, you don't win the Premiership last year. You know, the defensive attitude and the commitment to defence for one another was absolutely sensational. I thought Reynolds had an amazing game. Staggs, amazing. Xavier Willison, I think that for me was his career-defining game that I am, you know, he had some big games in last year's final series, but for me, Willison, he goes, you know, people are, it's all right for him. He's playing with Haas and Carrigan. Well, he was without them. He was enormous, absolutely enormous. I think, you know, Haas moving on at the end of the year, I know they've gone and signed Barnett. The star for that pack moving forward is Willison. He is amazing. Again, Tigers, this is a trend in the game. We're talking about trends in the game, is your star half or your star spine player goes down injured. The reserve person comes in. They play well. The star then returns. They don't play well. They lose. It's like, oh, we need to bring him back in. The same thing. The
Dobbo
same.
Say yesterday, Cogger should start.
Madden.
I can't remember what he said.
No, I
Pretty
think
sure
he
he did.
asked the question, then he pushed for it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he didn't go as hard out and be like, no, he has to play the team. But I think he spoke about it.
It's the same with Metcalf. People saying that. It's like,
I can understand the logic of it all because Dewey is a versatile player, and like
It was
Dewey
it was a
could play in the
bizarre
centres.
decision with 15 minutes to go to bring. He said Herbert was cooking, but to put Dewey to right centre
yeah.
and bring Madden on because I just went, what? He said in his presser, he said he wanted him to ice the game, which another one I was like,
Dewey to ice game or Madden?
Madden.
I don't know if Madden's the type of player you bring on to ice a game.
Well, that's what he said.
He's been really good.
They were
though,
good.
Madden.
They were good. Tigers were good.
Yeah.
Tigers were really good.
Yeah, they didn't play back. It's not a dog's drop off.
They were on top.
Yeah.
Reynolds come up with 2 enormous plays, like the kick to Mariner before half time when nothing was doing. And then 2 sets later puts Tolte over inside. And all of a sudden it was 16-12 or 18-12 at half time. And I went,
you know what though, mate? That's got to be the evolution of the Tigers, right? You're dominating the game, and we're 3-4 minutes out from half time. When people, one of my least favorite phrases in the game is we've got to play for 80 minutes. It's not. But people say that and they mean, we didn't play for 80, you concede tries. You don't focus for 80. You've got to be focused, and you've got to know that you're winning. Team like Brisbane, they're going to throw something at you. And then the kick, they just caught Macassini.
Yeah.
They're daydreaming, really.
He would have learnt a lot on the week.
He just wasn't focusing. And he is a young kid, and you grant him that. But then the Tolte try, there's 30 seconds to go, 3 men in the tackle, the A defender, the third man retreating becomes the A defender, and he creates that try. Now, all you need to do there, Kez, as a middle, is get up and create the illusion that you're actually there, willing and able to make a tackle. Because if you go up, you stop that play. And then Reynolds doesn't play inside. 30 seconds to hold on. For me, that was game-changing for the Tigers, and it is important. They don't lose, but they learn from this.
That's what I reckon they'll learn from it.
Yes, that's the important caveat.
Because Macassini had a couple moments. He had that. He had the drop ball off Buller. He had the drop off a Reynolds spiral, and you can tell he's going to be a long time first grader.
Yeah, of course.
And he'll take his kick up the butt this week. He'll be better for those moments.
But he
would have had a lot going through his head half time. He's probably just thinking, get on defensive line, come up. Ball gets kicked over. Yes, that try it was a difficult one. I think Buller got it wrong a little bit on that one, but that changed the complexity. I thought their middles were enormous too, though. The two back rowers I love them. Kai Pearce-Paul, and Samuel Afenu, like they are. Like Samuel Afenu, he's doing things. He's doing all the hard stuff first. Like all the hard stuff. Kick chases, he's on them all. Chases every kick pressure defensively really well. But I reckon that's a good learning for him to get in a big game against the Premiers
at home,
and get taught a few lessons. Yes. You got taught a few really hard lessons.
That's it, and it's what you do next with this. And you know that everybody's loving you, everybody's high-fiving you, cheering the Tigers on, packed crowd. They all want a piece of your shit. Like, where does your focus go now? Like, big learning curve for the Broncos.
Are you still going to say it's not good for the game and the Tigers going well? Packed out Campbelltown.
No, but you can
the game's buzzing.
It'd be the same for the Warriors, same for the Dogs, same for Paramount.
Yeah, but there's only a few teams it's the same for.
No, it's not. It's half the comp. In terms of the Broncos,
what a win!
Season-defining win. Honestly, you looked at their bench and you're Googling who are these people. Like, I didn't know he was still. I was like, I didn't know he was still around. I thought respectfully speaking, there was a lot of new faces, a lot of like huge season-defining win, and will instill that belief that they can go and win games without these players again. With Origin round the corner, like that is. It's been a bit of an Achilles heel for the Broncos is their Origin stuff, which obviously comes with the territory. Payne Haas will be a huge loss. I know they rallied and they got up, but not good to see. And God love him. He's trying his best. He wasn't going to accept that he was injured. He was kept on pushing. He was out on his feet there.
Is this the players, or does Madge have a big tick for this period?
Everyone's got to get credit for it, don't they? Players, Madge. You got to give Madge credit for sure.
Yeah, like to get them up.
Yeah.
For this game. It was a tough loss last week. Then they lose Carrigan during the week. Staggs, I think he said, did a ligament in his foot during the game.
And Ricky's battling injuries.
He's obviously, they've obviously done a really good job with Willison because he was enormous. Tolte, I love Tolte in the middle. It's an interesting month now because without Payne, Carrigan won't be there this week either.
Yeah.
Reynolds, you still don't know. Like Reynolds he's not going to play all the games this year.
He was amazing on Saturday.
He was the difference in the end.
Yeah.
Madge, they're a tough footy team.
You worked with Madge very closely, Kez. I imagine he's great for people like Tolte. Probably like a Jason Clark. That like.
And he's great with
respectfully speaking, is not going to be the best ever forward to play the game, but his potential gets maximized. He'll squeeze every bit of juice out of somebody like a Ben Tolte.
His specialty, I think, is young guys because he teaches them how to be first graders. He teaches them to train and live and play and be tough. And then those middle guys who are on the edge, we had a heap of them at South, like the Dave Tyrrells, Ben Lowe, Jason Clark, Chris McQueen. We had a heap of those guys, Luke Burgess.
Yeah.
It's the older guys that have always been the one with him where he pushes them and pushes them and pushes them, but he loves this when chips are down and he's got a lot of injuries. He can create a narrative about us against the world. And I think we spoke to Staggs after the game and he spoke about that, everyone said we would come in, we weren't going to win, and how good the Tigers were. And I'm just picturing the storyline he would have created through the week for him.
Yeah, well, it was a great weekend of football. We are unfortunately going to be out of time. Obviously, great win for the Roosters.
Sorry, Warriors fans. They'll be, we beat the Titans.
It was a great win.
Top of show.
It was a great win. I love the Warriors. Their pack could be one of the best packs in the comp.
Well, I'll just say this. I called it first.
You
I
did.
said in round 1, they've got the best pack in the comp.
Yeah, and what was going to be the battle of the coaches, Manly absolutely putting on a clinic. Poor old Tommy Trbojevic can't catch a trick. I mean, what do you even say?
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, death, taxes, and Tommy Trebojevic's hamstrings are the 3 guarantees.
Collar
in
looks
life.
good though. Collar will
He
get a
does,
good
he
shot.
does, but you want Tommy in there. Maybe that's a bit for for Thursday's show about
stick
the
around.
situation at the Cowboys.
We might even be able to do a bit of a deeper dive on the
What
Patreon as
situation?
well. The Patreon. Well, there's talk now that Todd
Yeah,
Payton.
who's talking that?
Well, that's the journo. So
Exactly, but go to the journal
No,
who's talking
But
that.
they're getting information from inside the Cowboys.
Well,
I
also,
mean
he's
you can
not
also.
re-signed.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not re-signed.
So what?
Well, you should.
Dave
Well,
Riccio wrote they need to make a decision now. No, you
No,
don't.
they don't. No, they
You
definitely
don't.
don't.
Wait till round 20 and make a decision. You don't have to sack him today because he lost one game. He's
no,
won
no,
three
no.
in a row.
But you make is he going to be the coach next year?
Oh, well, let's wait and see. See how he goes this year.
It's really
They don't
interesting.
need a rush. There's 10 coaches waiting to become coaches, and every time a job comes up, they all go to their journos and put their name in the paper. So there's not going to be a shortage.
Mate, don't-
There's not going to
mate,
be a
don't-
shortage.
Blake
Don't-
Green, is he a Jets?
Don't peel back the curtain like that. Keep you've given them too much information there, kids. All right,
I couldn't believe he called for his. He said they
know.
need to
Did
make
Ricky-
a decision.
did he-
this
is that what
week.
he said?
Yes, he
Yeah.
wrote an article.
He's
I
off
don't
his
know if
head.
they need to make a decision now, but it's got to be soon.
Riccio's been running cover for Shane Flanagan as well, so now he's trying to turn his attention to something else. He's probably trying to maybe
No
get
longer.
Shane that
Fla-
job.
Flanagan to the Cowboys.
Oh, you
yeah,
heard
there
it
you
here
go.
first.
All right, we'll catch you all next week. What an episode.